Hello everyone, I'm Lazy Grouse, and today we're gonna take a look at all the units and mechanics available to the Tomb Kings in SFO Grimhammer 2. First, we have the Tomb Barque, which has an amazing looking custom unit model. It's a chariot, but it's best used as support that stays close to other units. And you don't really want to use it in melee combat, as it has low melee attack, a very low melee defense, but it does have a decent ranged attack. But its strength is really in its abilities. It's got Kepler Beetles, which deals damage over time to enemies and lower their armor piercing damage. And Hieroglyph of Protection grants damage resistance to allies nearby. They also have Cast Terror to help rout enemies, and each lord has access to it except Archon the Black. The Lich High Priest is a generic caster lord that can choose between Lore of Neakara, Lore of Shadows, Lore of Light and Lore of Death, and they can get the Tomb Barque as a mount when playing as Katep in the campaign. Next we have the Legions. Legions are stronger variants of base units, and each subfaction have a different method of obtaining them, which I will go through later in this video. But first we will look at their stats and abilities. The first Legion is the Green Skulls, which is a unit of skeleton warriors with this neat looking unit model with glowing skulls. They have a higher unit count, better leadership, higher health, higher melee attack and better weapon strength. They also have magic attacks, flaming attacks and Searing Flame, which debuffs enemy melee attack and armor and gives them weakness to fire. The Bright Shields is a skeleton warrior unit that seems to have its own badass looking leader. They have better leadership, higher melee attack, higher melee defense and armor piercing damage, but their biggest strength is probably their golden shields. The Sundry Black Shields is a skeleton spearman unit with better leadership, melee defense and charge bonus. They also have bleeding attack, which deals damage over time, and bolster defense, which increases melee defense and gives expert charge defense to all allies in range. The Krokgar Legion is a skeleton archer unit with flaming arrows and bonus versus large. They also have an increased missile strength and a small range increase, and they also have their own cool looking leader at the front. Golden Host of Marak is a shielded variant of Neakara warriors, and as their name suggests, have a golden unit model. They are much more defensive with much higher armor, leadership, melee defense and a 40% physical resistance, but a lower melee attack and charge bonus, and they are led by a golden variant of a standard Neakara warrior. The Sphinx Legion of Numas is a Tomb Guard unit with halberds with a higher leadership, melee attack and charge bonus, but the big difference is Lich Priest Resurrections, which is a huge heal that resurrects combatants with 2 charges, but with a long cooldown, which means that if they survive in a long battle, they effectively got 10,000 extra HP, and you can also see the Lich Priest hiding in the back. The Guardians of the Alabaster Tower is a Tomb Guard unit with halberds with higher armor, leadership, melee attack and melee defense, and they also have the Defenders of the Tower, which increases their missile resistance and melee defense, but they can't move, so essentially they plant their feet, form a shield wall and lets no one through. The Marak Guard is a Tomb Guard unit with halberds with higher armor, leadership and melee defense, and the ability Pursuit of Battle, which increases their physical resistance and melee defense the longer they stay in battle. The Sepulchrex is an awesome looking Ushapti unit that looks like it's made from obsidian that is better in almost every way. They have a higher leadership, speed, melee attack, weapon strength and charge bonus, and they also have Dread of the Dead God, which lowers enemy leadership, and Ravenous Hunger, which gives them regeneration. The Hawk Legion of Cetra is a Neakara warrior with shields that is exclusive to Cetra the Imperishable. They have a higher armor, leadership, speed and melee defense, but with lower health, and they seem kind of like a middle ground between Neakara warriors and Tomb Guards. Legion of the Asp is a skeleton archer unit that is better than normal skeleton archers in every way, including melee combat. They have higher armor, leadership, melee attack, melee defense, weapon strength, ammunition, range and missile damage, with poison attack and bonus versus infantry. They also have bolstered marksmanship, which increases missile damage and accuracy, and their unit models have headbands with a cobra head on it, which is very fitting as they are exclusive to High Queen Khalida. The glowing ghouls are exclusive to Archon the Black and are essentially crit ghouls that's been eating warpstone or hang out with nuclear waste, and it seems to be affecting their unit models because they are bugging out a little bit. They have a higher melee attack, charge bonus, but lower melee defense. They also have Warpstone Scorch, which debuffs the enemy armor and leadership for, well, basically forever. And they have Warpstone Aura, which deals damage over time and lowers the enemy damage resistance. Whites of Stone Wrath Tarn are exclusive to Archon the Black and claims to be skeleton warriors, but they're more like Graveguards with a little bit extra leadership, melee attack and banishment, which lowers physical resistance, magic resistance and gives a miscast chance, as well as a very high magic resistance. The Nagashizar Guard are also exclusive to Ark and the Black and also claim to be skeleton warriors, but are actually grave guards with higher armor, leadership and melee attack. They also have Dauntless Fury, which increases their AP damage and melee attack the longer they fight. Each of the Tomb King factions have gotten some mechanic to make them feel more unique. Cetra the Imperishable, High King of Neakara and guy with way too many titles have gotten Divine Riches of Cetra, which is a resource gained from winning battles. The Divine Riches can be spent on new technologies or a special event that occurs every 50 turns. And as you can see, there are many new technologies and each of them costing Divine Riches, with the first two columns of technology giving buffs when fighting certain races at the cost of really pissing them off. The next two gives powerful abilities to Cetra and your other characters, with the second column lowering the cooldown of these abilities. The last four columns gives activated abilities to your units and lowering the cooldown of those abilities. And Cetra gets access to legions through landmarks and buildings. For example, the Great Pyramid of Cetra unlocks the Golden Host of Marak. Grand Hierophant Khatep has a unique event that happens on turn 1 and every 40 turns thereafter. This event allows you to choose between 4 powerful advisors, allowing you to choose your own faction bonus. Kemrian Ambassador gives you Canoptic Jars each turn, increased trade income, global recruitment capacity and some leadership and ward save when in foreign territory, at the cost of lower local recruitment capacity. High Priest makes all your casters perform better and gives you some growth at the cost of leadership in foreign territory. Devotee of Geheb gives you some campaign movement and improved survivability of armies with less attrition, casualty replenishment, and recovery at the cost of leadership in your own territory. Ramotep gives you research rate, public order, untainted, and recruitment capacity of your units at the cost of slower build time. Khatep has also gotten an expanded mortuary cult with Warding of Khazar, which gives better ambush success and defense chance, and Will of the Desert army ability, which spawns vortices. Offering of the Hoth allows you to buy Canoptic Jars. Petros Protection makes you immune to attrition and gives you a 50% casualty replenishment rate. And Incantation of Pahath gives you a huge campaign movement boost and protection against heroes. Khatep has also got some new research. The top technologies is how Khatep gets access to the legions. All you have to do is build the required buildings and research the technology. The legions can then be recruited from any coastal major settlement. The lower technologies are more traditional and gives various campaign and combat buffs. High Queen Khalida is all about getting vengeance on the vampire counts, so she got the currency Vengeance, which she gets from killing special vampire lords summoned through her technology tree. The more vengeance Khalida have, the stronger she is in combat. She also gets a campaign movement buff and more income from sacking. The vampire lords are summoned by researching the middle technologies, and all of them summon a vampire counts army close to your border that gets stronger the longer you wait to fight them. The technologies at the top is how Khalida unlocks the legions. They cost gold and 1 vengeance, and they can all be recruited from any major inland settlement. All of the lower technologies cost 1 vengeance each, and they all give strong combat or campaign buffs, but there is only 15 vengeance available through the entire campaign, so you can never research all the new technologies. Ark and the Black has gotten an expanded roster of vampire counts units with Crypt Horrors, Cairn Wraiths and Mortis engines. He also got the unique stance Corrupted Dynasties that spread vampiric corruption, buffs vampire units, and summons a White King at the start of combat at the cost of some research and 25% movement. He also has some pretty strong new technologies that are unlocked by conquering settlements and building pyramids throughout the desert. Once all the pyramid technologies has been researched, you get to choose one of the final technologies. And like Cetra, Arkan gets access to legions through landmarks. And that's all the units and mechanics of the Tomb Kings in SFO Grimhammer 2. Which unit do you like the most and which lord got the best mechanic? Tell me in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video or found it helpful, consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!